Create Smart today. All you need for this project, super simple, is a piece of paper, a pencil, and some crayons. That's it. That's all you'll need. So we're going to make this kind of three-dimensional hand. On this example, I used warm colors and cool colors, or Psychedelic Hand. You can use really any colors you want. On this example, I reversed the pattern and I used cool colors and warm colors. So let's go ahead and get started, and feel free to pause the video wherever you need to catch up with me. Okay, so I am going to start by tracing my hand on this paper. I'm going to pull up my sleeve a little bit. I want to see a little bit of my wrist and arm. And I don't want my fingers to be like this. I want my fingers to be spread out a little bit like this, but not quite like this. That's a little too far. So I'm going to not touch the top of the paper. I'm going to leave a little bit of space here. And then I want my wrist and arm, and I'm going to try to tilt my arm a bit so my arm is going a little bit straighter and not angled so much this way, which feels much more comfortable, but I'm going to go this way. So I'm going to lightly trace, and anytime you're working with pencil, I always recommend to draw light. Always, always, always. I know it's hard to do. I will try to draw a little bit darker so that you can see it on the screen. Right down all the way off the edge of the paper. So you can see kind of my outline right there. And then I am going to take either, you have two options. You can either use a black crayon or you can use a black Sharpie marker with your parents' help, or just a black Crayola marker. And I discovered today that I need to go buy a new set of Crayola markers. I don't have any in the house. I thought I did. So I'm going to outline it with a black Sharpie marker. Make sure if you're using a Sharpie, your mom and dad know so you don't get it on the table or wherever you're working. I found, you can see in these examples, one is outlined with black. This one I used black crayon, so it also works. This one I did not outline it. I found when teaching this project in the past, if you outline the hand with black marker, it makes it stand out a little bit more, and it's a little bit easy when we start coloring, so you don't make any big mistakes. So we're going to stop at this point, and we're going to outline. And this is where if you have like bumps that you drew, you can straighten them out and then erase any of the lines you don't like. So you can see I didn't follow the line very well right there. I think my ring made a little bump. I'm going to erase that line in a moment. Okay, now I'm going to use my handy dandy big eraser. I much prefer an eraser like this than the eraser at the end of the pencil. Okay, I just always sweep those up off onto the floor. I'll vacuum later. Okay, so now we're done with step one. Again, my fingers are not close together. They're not fully spread out. They're just gently spread apart, kind of. And I can still see some of my arm right here, and I left a little bit of space right here. Now we're going to start with the circles. The biggest mistake you can make with the circles, let me put an example up. We're going to start with these circles. So I'm going to start with the circle right here. The biggest mistake you can make, I'm going to turn this over. This is going to be my scrap side. You can see I already tested some crayons and made sure my pencil was sharp on the back. So you don't want to start with a circle that is this big and make them super close together like this. If you make your circles so close together like this, it is going to be so hard to color. You're going to be really mad at yourself later. So you want to leave, I don't know, maybe even a 2-finger width between the circles, but don't get so stressed about that. We just want to keep them farther apart so we don't get out of control. So step one, you're going to make a circle kind of in this, I tore this page off, there's a little crumb right there. In this upper right hand corner, you're going to make a circle, I don't know, maybe about the size of a quarter or so. And it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Again, draw light. You're probably going to have to erase at this point, and you're going to be sad if you pressed too hard. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure, this is where you really have to start paying attention. I don't want to draw the next circle so close to this. So I don't want to start here. That's too skinny. You're going to stress yourself out. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go around like this. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You can see I got a little more narrow here and it's a little wide here. That doesn't matter. Okay, now it looks like I can fit in one more full circle before I touch the edge of the paper. So I'm going to do that. You might be able to fit in 2 or 3, depending on where you started this circle. Just make sure when you started this circle, it was kind of in the upper right-hand part of the paper, not touching your hand. That might get too confusing at the beginning. Okay, so I'm going to do one more, really being conscious not to get too close. There, that's about the last full circle I can fit. Now we have to imagine that the paper continues off onto the table. So the circle, we don't want to squeeze this next circle into this space right here because really it goes off the edge. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to forget these black lines. Pretend that we didn't even make this. It's not even here. We're going to draw circles on top of the hand all the way down to the end of the paper, pretending the hand isn't here. So we're going to ignore it. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go around. Again, I'm ignoring the hand. I don't want to curve my pencil and go around the hand. Pretend it's not there. I'm going to go like this, around, and now I have to stop because my pencil hit the edge of the paper. But this is pretty wide right here. I probably want to draw one little line right here. So it looks like I completed that ring. Okay, now I'm going to start here. And again, I'm going to pretend the hand isn't there. Moving around. Like so. Right here. Let me make sure I don't go off the screen. And I'm going to go around. And I'm going to keep following this same process until I've covered the entire paper with these like psychedelic circles. Okay. I'm pressing pretty hard. Please don't press as hard as me. Always draw light with your pencil. I have so many students who will press so hard and then be so sad when they erase and the lines show. So, I mean, it's not quite 2 fingers width, but it's more than 1. It's pretty thick right here. So you don't want to keep it too skinny. Okay. And now, again, same process. This is too skinny compared to this. I don't want to squeeze this in right here. So I'm going to go down to here. It looks like it'll start right about here. And I'm going to continue. And look, mine are not perfectly spaced. They're not the same width. You can see this space is a little narrower than this space. It's okay. Just don't make them too close together. You will be very sad. Okay, one can go here, way at the bottom. Is my hand in the way? Can you see that? And then one can go right here. And I've filled my paper. So step 1 was tracing the hand. Step 2, we outlined with black marker. Step 3, we drew a circle about the size of a quarter in the upper right-hand corner. And step 4, we filled our paper with concentric circles that were not itty-bitty. Okay, the next step is coloring. That's the fun part. You can really use anything you want to color. I'm going to use crayons because that's what I used on these two, and I think it turned out nice. If you outline your hand with black crayon, be careful because when you go to color next to it, you can smear the black crayon. So if you use marker, you'll be fine. Okay, we're going to start by coloring only I can't decide what to color first. The circles. Let's color the circles first. I think that'll be easier. Okay, so you want to choose 3 colors. I'm going to stick with the warm and cool color pattern just because it's a nice art skill to learn. So you don't have to use the exact colors labeled red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. You could use, any colors you choose. But let's stick with 3 and 3. So right now you're going to want 3 colors only, and you're going to put the rest away. These 3 colors are the warm colors, red, orange, and yellow. Think of warm like fire. So pink is also a warm color, maroon is a warm color. All the colors kind of like fire are warm colors. Peach is a warm color. Cool colors are like water. So blue, green, and purples. Those are like water. I mean, I guess green isn't particularly like water, but that's sort of an easy way to remember it. So I'll start with warm colors with the circle. So I'm putting the other 3 colors off to the side. I don't want to touch them yet. Now the rule with this is when you get to a ring that touches black, think of this black line like a barbed wire fence or like something that you can't touch. You don't want to cross it. So let me demonstrate. So I'm going to color rather sloppy because then it will go faster. You guys can color super neat. So I'm going to color this circle like so. And then I'm done with red for a moment. I'm going to alternate colors. And if you screw up the pattern, then you can always switch. And if you go red, orange, yellow, and then you accidentally go red, yellow, then just use orange next. That doesn't matter. Okay. I picked dandelion, not yellow, because I find yellow to be very, very light. I like to use a yellow that is a little bit darker. So I like to color in circular motions when I'm coloring in these concentric circles, just a bit faster. Okay, again, my final examples, I colored a bit neater, and this is actually orange. Again, imagine with your eyes that I am coloring so fancy right now that you don't even know what to do because it's so fancy. Not scribble scrabble like I just did. Okay, now I'm back to red. I'm not too concerned about the black line yet. The black line doesn't infringe on this circle very much yet. So there we go. Okay, now this little part up here should not be red because this concentric circle is red. This is the next concentric circle, which is yellow because I'm going red, yellow, orange, red, yellow, orange. Okay, so this part's yellow. And then imagine, again, it goes off the paper. It goes around, 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 and this one's yellow. Now remember, this black is like poison. We don't want to go past it. So I have to stop. Can't go past it. Now I'm back to the circle. You don't want to color any parts on the hand right now. You have to skip the hand. That's going to be different colors. Okay, now orange. And I stopped when I touched the black, and I can't go to this next circle. I'm only coloring this circle here, so I don't want to cross the pencil line either. Sloppy, 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 sloppy. And red. Sloppy, 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 sloppy. Sloppy. And all the way to the end. So I skipped all the places where the hand is. And now yellow. Skip this hand, a little bit right here, skip, a little bit right here. Orange, skip, 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 a little bit right here, skip, 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 some right here. Okay, then imagine you keep going and you fill in all of this with the warm colors, red, orange, and yellow. Then you're ready to color the hand with these colors. I find, color in hand, it is easier to start at the bottom. Because starting up here, it's like super confusing. What's what? I don't know what I'm supposed to color, what color. But if you start here, it's faster. So I'm going to use 3 new colors. I'm not touching these colors anymore. Imagine I finished. I'm using these 3 colors. All right, so doesn't matter which one you start with. These are, again, the cool colors. Purple, blue, and I think these are actually labeled purple, blue, and green. I know sometimes my students want to know exactly which colors I used because they want to make it exactly the same. So the only color I used different is I picked a yellow that was a bit darker, so it wasn't so light. Blue. And again, ignore my sloppy coloring. You guys will go slow and color so fancy, so you can hang this on your fridge or in your bedroom and be so proud of it, or send it off to a family member who is also staying at home who needs some special art in their life. Blue and green. Purple. See how it gets easier because I started at the bottom? Now I know which concentric circle I'm on because the hand is only made up of like little parts of the circle. Now, blue. I've lost track of my pattern for a minute. Blue. I'm not going past the black onto the colored part. Green. All the way around, all the way around. Oh, look, the thumb is done already. And purple. And blue. And if I really want to be neat, I can see a tiny touch of green right there. And you've completed your project. There's my example that I did actually use crayons on this. I just pressed very hard and colored very neat. So it looked very fancy. So that's it. That's our first at-home art project today. I hope you liked it. My dogs are outside right now. Maybe in the next video I'll pick them up and show you. My husband's outside doing yard work, so they went outside to join him. I know you guys have seen like a cajillion pictures of my dogs in my classroom, those of you who I teach. So maybe you can meet them in the next video. So stay tuned. You'll get to meet Vienna and Greta. Okay, I hope everybody's staying healthy, maintaining social distance, and I will post another video soon. All right,